Thank you once again to our friends over at the British International School. Okay. Our next school for our virtual summit today is King's College International School, Bangkok. King's College is the first King's College School Wimbledon International School in Southeast Asia and is located in the heart of Bangkok, which is just 5 kilometers from Sathorn and 7 kilometers from Sukhumvit. And they offer a British curriculum with GCSEs and A-levels for children aged 2 to 18, whilst emphasizing good manners, kindness, and wisdom. And I have my guest today who is going to be joining me, the head of the primary school, Miss Helen Cyril. And I hope that I just said your family name correctly. Did I say it correctly? Oh, I think you're on mute there. Well, we can't hear you yet. Let's see. Shazam! There we go. We got you.
Yeah, sorry, it's Cyril, but near enough.
Cyril, I apologize. So, well, at least now we can edit that out later. Excellent. Well, thank you so much, Helen, for joining me today. You know, the first question that I think everyone wants to ask is, what's your affiliation with King's College in London? Like, how does that work? And does it mean anything?
Yeah, so we're very, very close to King's College in Wimbledon. We're not sort of just a franchise. We are very much a sister school. We worked, very closely when we were first opening and first setting up the school. And even now, I mean, King's interviews all of our teaching staff. So the teaching staff go through 2 rounds of interviews with us here in Bangkok. And then they get interviewed by King's in Wimbledon as well. So it's sort of part of the quality assurance. They do quality audits with us every year, and they come out and visit every year for the quality audit, or every couple of years for the quality audit. And every term, somebody from King's in Wimbledon will come out to visit us just to sort of make sure that everything's okay, to discuss what we're working on, to discuss any problems that we've got. We have lots and lots of sort of collaborations with them. Some of the students in the senior school work with the students in King's Wimbledon on maths and on different activities, so sort of collaboratively online. Later on this year, we've got a visit to King's in Wimbledon, so some of our senior students will be going there. We've got an education working group which meets every term or so to discuss, any changes that we want to make, to discuss sort of teaching philosophies, and the chair of that meeting is also part of the chair of the board, and she was one of the chair of the board in King's in Wimbledon as well. So there's lots and lots of sort of close links. They monitored our curriculum when we were putting it together. A lot of our policies came from there, and obviously we've adapted to suit and needs in Bangkok, but very, very much the same philosophy, the same quality, and very, very close ties.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. That was a very complete answer. I want to remind everyone that we are live right now. And if you're watching us on Facebook or YouTube, please put your questions in the chat there, either in the bottom of the screen or the right-hand side of the screen. We do see them, and I'll be happy to ask those questions live here during this time. Tell me, I've offered this to the other speakers earlier today, and if you would, I know that King's is a relatively recent school to Bangkok. I mean, I think you're in your 3rd year, maybe 4th year, or?
Yeah, this is our 3rd year of being.
Yeah, 3rd year, right. What is it, give me, as someone who's there, you're the head of primary, what does it mean to be at King's, as opposed to some of the other schools in the area?
I think King's is very, very much a community school. We really, really care. The children are at the heart of everything that we do. We've got very, very strong values of kindness, good manners, and wisdom, and that's expected from parents, from students, from staff, from everybody who steps foot in the campus and beyond. So it's very, very much a culture of kindness, culture of caring. We've got We've got 3 sort of main pillars within our sort of structure of curriculum. So we've got our academic curriculum, and obviously King's Wimbledon is one of the most academically successful schools in the world. But it's not only about academics, it's about the co-curricular program that we also offer, and also the pastoral support that we offer. So it's very much building that whole child, and making sure that we very much believe that academic achievement is not only academics alone, it's the whole child that helps build that. It's the fact that they're happy in school, that they get a broad and balanced curriculum. So we've got a huge number of CCAs that we offer, which are compulsory sort of extracurricular activities, which the children do in a rotation, so that they're getting a real variety of everything beyond the academic curriculum. But we also offer a huge number of ECAs as well, which are optional extracurricular activities. So those are, provided by our teachers or by external providers, depending on, what the activity is. We're very, very much sort of focused on getting children to think out of the box. So in early years, it's very play-based, and that play moves up into Key Stage 1 and then sort of becomes an inquiry type of approach as you're going through Key Stage 1 and into Key Stage 2 and into the seniors. So particularly with sort of AI and all of the new things with AI at the moment, it's making sure that students aren't just learning the facts, but they are actually, learning how to deal with people, and it's the emotional intelligence and that side of things that we really, really very much focus on building and teaching the academic skills and the knowledge through those social and emotional skills and the soft skills and sort of problem solving, creative thinking, collaboration, and all of those skills, which are really, really important to us here.
I want to congratulate you for being the first person to bring up AI. I just literally had my 14-year-old today say, Dad, did you see that, now Spotify has an AI DJ? I mean, it's every day it's something new. It's quite intense.
Yeah, I think it's something that we can't just ignore. It's there, so we've got to work with it to make it work for us, if you like.
Yeah, for sure. And we have a question, and I believe this person's name is Michelle. It's just spelled a little differently, but Michelle Grindgower. She's asking, if my child is at King's Bangkok and we get relocated to the UK, can we automatically transfer to King's London?
No, it's not an automatic transfer. You would have to pass the entrance test to King's in Wimbledon if you were to go there.
Okay, excellent. What kinds of as a newer school, as you've recently been built, you got a spectacular campus, etc. What sort of changes are you seeing in the near term that are going to be coming down the pipe for students, for the growth of the campus, for the growth of the student body, for new programs, new offerings, those kinds of things?
Yeah, so we started 2 years ago with pre-nursery to year 6, and then we opened the seniors to year 10 last year, and this year we've gone to year 11. So the next year we'll be opening year 12 and then year 13 the following year. So we're the senior school is expanding and growing. We're very much working on our philosophy and our teaching and learning pedagogy, making sure that the children are really, really happy in when they come to school. We've got new buildings going up at the moment to cater for all of those children, but very much it's sort of embedding what we've done, making sure that we've got consistency and making sure that the children are very, very happy with their learning, and that our data shows that they're making the progress that we expect or above the progress that we expect. So it's really very much embedding everything that we've put in to begin with. Our student numbers are growing very rapidly. We started with 350 students in our first year. Then last year we had 750. This year we've got just over 1,100. So we have grown very, very rapidly. So it's making sure that we cater for all of those children and their needs and get to know them and their families.
Absolutely. Wow, that is outstanding growth over a 3-year period. What about diversity in the student body? What sort of internationality do you have, and how is that continuing to diversify?
Yeah, we've got, I think it's about 28 nationalities within the school at the moment. Our majority is Thai. It's about 75% Thai with about 25% other nationalities. That is, as we're growing, that is changing. We are getting more diverse in terms of our nationalities of children. So yeah, that's obviously something that we obviously want to develop too. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. What about if I'm a parent considering King's, over one of the other schools in the Bangkok area, what are one of the 2 common questions that you hear, or one of the 2 the common concerns that you're constantly fielding about either the primary school or something else?
That's a good question, actually. I'm trying to think of what the concerns that parents might have. I think one of the concerns is that it's a new school.
Mhm.
And at the moment we haven't got a reputation particularly. It's building, but so it's not, you're not going to the King's. You're taking a risk when you go to a relatively new school. So it's that's what do we have to offer, and how can we prove that what we're doing is good, and that we actually deliver what we say. So that's I think one of the biggest concerns really that parents have. So we do offer, we have open days where parents can come around, they can see the school and see what's going on, so that they get a feel for it themselves. And I think obviously the other concern, I suppose, is whether academically we're going to have the same results as Kings in Wimbledon. We are selective, but less selective than Kings in Wimbledon. So, academically, and our children are very different than Kings in Wimbledon. So that is one of the other questions that we ask. But we I can guarantee that we do get good academic results so far. On the back of COVID and everything else, the children have made really good progress since they've been here.
I'm sure, absolutely. Final question for you. What are you personally most, as the head of primary, what are you most excited about in sort of the near term, the next, let's say, 1 or 2 years in the continuing development? Is it the addition of new outlets and classes and opportunities? Is it continued diversification? Is it new connections with other schools, other programs? Like what are you excited about?
Oh, so much, because I think we're very much a learning school. We want the children to learn, but we also want the staff to learn. And we're all learning every single day. So I think I'm very excited about the development that we're making with our pedagogy and with our curriculum, and the fact that teachers are really excited about learning and about developing new strategies, and sort of really up-to-date thinking. So I'm really excited about that from a development point of view. I'm excited about seeing the progress that the children are making, because obviously they've only been here for a short time, and it's really exciting to see how they're developing. And what's also really exciting is to see what a King's student becomes. Already teachers are saying, or children who've been here from the beginning, in my class, they're different. They know our values, and they really respond to that. And new children coming in who haven't been through that yet haven't got that. And obviously that's something that we then sort of, just through everything we do, they become part of it as well. So I think that's really exciting to see the children grow into, kind, humble, successful people. So, and see, how we do that. But also, making links with the community. We've already made links with lots of schools in the community. Now that COVID's over, increasing our sort of sporting fixtures and competitions with other schools, and just everything's exciting, really.
So much to look forward to. Well, on that note, I can't thank you enough for taking time out of your day for speaking with us. I know that your colleague is going to be coming up after our video here. Raj Ladva is going to be talking about the importance of early learning. But before we do that, let's take a few minutes to have your video overview of King's College. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, sure.
You ready? Yeah. Student interview, take 1, action.
I am Japper. My real name is Shanadom Impas in year 10. The first image I saw of King's when I came here is the students huddle up together and discussing about topics about school. Some people playing their instrument. Some people even playing chess. It's just, there's just so much energy.
School is the place for me to spend a lot of time with in my own teenage life. It should be happy.
we are best friends.
And we are very good friends.
Studying, we help each other.
Oh yes, we
normally go in pairs. Every time the teacher says, you get to choose your own pairs. And then we always go together. Also in my old school, I used to hate mathematics. Like I said, boo mathematics. It was the worst. But like, when I came to Kings, I started gaining back my confidence.
The fun thing at school is probably sometimes for math class, I really like math. Cause like, I probably the teachers, Mr. Iskander, he makes me like feel comfortable to learn. And he makes the lesson really fun.
I think I discovered a lot of things here. I was in a DT lesson and I was trying to design a pencil holder, and I looked at it and I was like, oh my god, this is what I want to do. I want to design stuff. And I was just like, oh my god, this is amazing. Just by seeing a little design of mine, I realized that I could design bigger things, bigger differences in the world that I didn't realize I could before.
Thai class is really fun because the activities and the way she teaches us, it's something that she has that makes me so interested in learning Thai.
And then I did this. I made this for my mom. I just combined the two techniques that I learned in art lesson and made this. And then my mom's friend saw it and then made this for her. My mom would probably be proud and happy.
So I just walk in and I'm like, wow, this is different. The headmaster is just right in front of there. And he looks like very young. So I'm like, is he the headmaster? Am I getting this wrong? And stuff. And then like when ECA started, I'm like, the headmaster's teaching basketball. Well, that's new.
I remember it was after school and I was going home, but then my friend was like, Manny, come here, let's take a TikTok real quick. And I was like, okay then. And then we were dancing, right? And then Mr. Gibson, he's like the head of senior, he walked in and I was like, oh my god, am I gonna get in trouble or something? But he walked in and then he started dancing and I was like, oh my god, this is so funny.
So one of the reasons I love the school as well is because they not only focus on the things you need to learn inside of school, they also teach you about things outside of school. We learn about body shaming and just stuff like bullying and how to deal with them and like how to get support.
Absolutely, I think the school really celebrates individuality and like uniqueness, differences.
Oh, my opinion about that is like gender equality. Everybody should play any sports they want. Forget about the genders. Anyone can do whatever they want. It's up to them.
We do everything together, let's say. So whatever happens, we'll remember it together in this particular school. So it will be really good to make new memories in Kings.
From the first day I came here, my dad and my mom had a talk with Mr. Bunyard, and I don't know what they talked about. And like when they came out, they really said, the school is a good environment, a place where we can really grow a tree, like the seed is me. But it's a place where like I can grow up to be a good people and I can really develop this world to be a better place.
I think this school is very futuristic and like further. My parents also, I'm very privileged that my parents always choose the best schools for me to go to. I really would like to say thank you because they always trying their hardest to find the best schools for me. They try to find like the best places, best place for education. I'm building a home here.
All right, and we are back with Raj Ladva. Did I get
Hi.
your name?
Yeah, that's me.
Okay, excellent. You're the head of early years there at King's College, and you have a presentation for us, I believe, about the importance of early learning. Is that correct?
Well, a talk rather than a presentation today,
Oh.
but I think, one of the things that is really interesting to me, this is my 11th year in Bangkok, and having been at King's since the founding year, the level of understanding, I think, of among the parent community of what they want for their children, I think a lot of our community understand now the importance of child-centered play-based learning. I think parents are much more discerning now about what kind of choices they want to make for their children. And I think across the city, there are so many good options if you've got an early years child, and you can really be quite deliberate about your choices, I think, when choosing schools now. And I think the distinguishing factor about King's early years in some respects is because we're part of an all the way through school, we're looking at people joining us as soon as possible, but really to be part of that community from day one. And, like Helen said before, one of the most important things for us as a school is the overwhelming sense of community. And a community is underpinned by our values of good manners, kindness and wisdom. But that all begins in early years. And our setting is lovely, it's beautiful, it's very well appointed, lots of space and lots of shared area and collaboration. But there's so many schools with wonderful facilities across Bangkok, but actually the ethos and the values that go into creating this space and the way that we appoint people is really putting the community at the heart of everything that we do. And with our parent body and our parent community, those real close links make such a difference, because in early years, it's the first time you're meeting families, isn't it? And we really want for that to be a positive introduction to school, not only for the children, but also to the parents. A school is nothing without its parent community. And, one of the things about having parents who stay with us for up to 15 years is that they become part of the school too. And we recognise that there's a lot of experience among the King's staff who've been in big settings before, and understand that actually the power of a school actually comes from the parent community that join it. And so as part of our admission procedure and as part of the assessment process, it's very in-depth with the parents. We want the parents to feel like they have a very close link with us. Mr. Banyot does a lot of the initial parent meetings. They see a lot of me, they see a lot of the leadership team in King's, especially the children as well. We spend a lot of time with the children because that close link is what helps everybody feel that they have a voice and are able to do the right thing for all the children in our care. And so our early years is underpinned by a play-based principle, and our curriculum and assessment is informed by the UK system. So we have the curriculum and assessment framework from the EYFS profile that we assess the children at in reception. In pre-nursery and nursery, you use a document called the Birth to 5 Matters, which is a developmental skills map for children from birth to 5. And that really informs everything that we do, and we try to put the children at the absolute centre of everything. And that comes from really nice classroom bases where the children have not too big. I think the pre-nursery is 15 children, the nursery is 17 children, and the reception is capped at 20. They're quite hard caps, there's not really much flexibility in those, and our ratios are very high. So for the pre-nursery, we have 4 adults to 1 child, and in the nursery we have 5 to 1, and in reception we also have around about 7 to 1 as well. So we've got approximately 3 to 4 adults per class looking after the children and ensuring that their needs are taken care of, but also alongside that are being upskilled and trained with the latest in early years teaching practices and methodologies to ensure that our second language learners, our first language learners are all being supported with their language development, their physical development and their social development. And so that's something that's been really interesting to us, being a new school and having everyone coming on board. And within a very short period of time, the school is full. We have an incredible amount of staff and an incredible amount of children and parents all joined together in this community of kindness, and it's been an absolutely wonderful journey so far. And it's an absolute privilege, really, to be at the third year already, and to have so much interest from the local community too, in how the school works. And the children in early years, depending on the level, so if you're in pre-nursery, nursery or reception, the children have incredibly rich specialist program that contributes into obviously the school's later ECA and co-curricular development. But for pre-nursery, for example, they have Thai lessons, they have music lessons, they have swimming lessons, and they have physical development lessons, and that's same for the nursery. And in reception, we add things like Mandarin, we have library time, and we also have extracurricular activities after school for the reception children twice a week. So as you can see, the steps build up over time. So within all the way through school, that's really what you want to see, is that the children are taken through this program, building on their skills with layers and layers and layers. And we're really excited about the next couple of years as these children come through the school, because this is our first cohort that will be leaving reception this year and joining the primary school, and we're incredibly proud of those children for sure.
And so when we talk about the importance of that first cohort, what has early years given them that has prepared them for entering into the primary years, like help them to develop, familiarize them with the school? What are all those pieces around for a parent who may be considering, maybe I just want to start in the primary rather than also participating in early years?
Of course, and that's a really valuable question. First and foremost, we want the children to be happy, we want them to be confident, and we want them to be able to be critical, collaborative, and problem-solving children, ready for whatever the challenges of inquiry-based curriculum are in primary. We support that development through the pre-nursery, nursery and reception, with very much a long-term aim to making and supporting the children to become confident English speakers, which begins in pre-nursery. And I'm really proud of I was in pre-nursery 3 years ago. So my class in pre-nursery now, who may have come into school not speaking any English, are entering reception almost fluent. So really it's about supporting that language development in very deliberate and targeted ways. We use an English sign language system called Makaton that everybody uses to be very deliberate about their vocabulary and linguistic development, so that we ensure that the children are provided with a good base of language development before joining the primary school. Phonics, of course, for reading, writing. Our mathematics approach is very much based on the CPA approach, which is concrete, pictorial and abstract, which helps the children have a real breadth of skill before they come into year one. So they are able to manipulate numbers in a real variety of ways, and that really feeds into the primary system of white rows. So we try and do a lot of the pre-skills so that the children are ready to engage in concepts that they have the skills for but have never put together. So it's really about, when they come to that year one, it's putting those things that they've been learning all the time in 3 years and early years, and now we're using them in different ways. And that's really the powerful bit about having an early year so closely aligned with the primary school.
What are some of the common concerns that you hear from parents about considering early years? Things like, attachment, things like, is this too early for them? Will they fit in? As you said, the language piece, what are some of those top concerns?
I think that a lot of the first concerns is usually about, I'm not sure if they're speaking enough English, and so that's usually what I'll say. It's like, trust me, it's a 3-year program. Please don't worry. The other things that parents tend to worry about is, are they ready for being in all the way through school? Because often the scale can feel quite daunting if you've come from a 2-form or a 1-form entry kindergarten. And usually the advice I give there is, while it may feel and look big, actually the sense of community comes from the classroom, and that's why we have such high ratios. That's why we have such close relationships with our pastoral care, because we really want the parents and the children to feel very much part of their classroom base, and over time we build up that sense of community. So we really try and bring people in that way. One of the other things that I think post-COVID, people have been more worried about is, ensuring that the children are getting enough active and social time. It's really about prioritizing children's social relationships now, their physical development now, because for the last 2.5 years, those have been limited. So it's about trying to provide those experiences in a way that the children can take the most out of them. And that's something that we take very seriously. We've got a wonderful physical development specialist, and we have lots of other really enthusiastic and passionate people who've done things like we've had the Serpentarium come to visit. We've installed a climbing wall for the children to be able to develop their climbing skills and really push their physical development in other ways. It's part of our ECA program. So we really should try and be responsive to the needs of the children that we have, and to listen to the concerns of our community too.
Fantastic. Raj, I want to ask this question because I just want to put it out there. I know that you're the head of early years, but there's a woman named Haley who has asked around how similar or different the teachings are, or the school is, basically the curriculum is in Bangkok, as opposed to the King's School in the UK. For example, she's asking about secondary and secondary school specifically, but would we find that in early years as well? Would we find a real match if we were to go to London?
So that's really interesting. I was actually in London visiting King's and several other leading South West London schools during October, and it was more of a fact-finding thing for me. And actually, we do share a lot of similarities in terms of our approach to student outcomes. We really want children to be supported and challenged to develop the highest academic possibilities that we can, and we do share a range of methodologies to do that, in terms of our assessment procedures, how we track data, how we talk to our teachers about improving learning. So a lot of those systems and procedures are very, very similar, if not the same. We do also lean on them quite a lot for advice on what do you think we should do next about an assessment procedure, or how we can have further impact on the curriculum. I think the way that we significantly differ is that in the UK, part of the UK network of schools is they have an entrance exam called the 7+. Now, we are fortunate we don't have to have an entrance exam called the 7+, because we're not a UK South West London school. So that takes away some of the pressure from early years in that respect to pass the 7+. Whereas we don't have to do that, which is obviously much better for our children. So we get the best, in my opinion, of both worlds.
Fantastic. Raj Latva, you are the head of the early years at King's College. Can't thank you enough for taking time out of your busy day to speak with us here on the Summit today. And we will be directing any other questions about that program to you directly. Thank you so much.
Brilliant. Thank you so much. Have a good day.
You too.